Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Zamora 2-Player Podcast. I'm your player one, Garrett Zamora, and I'm joined again by my brother Matt. Matt, Thanks for joining.
Hey, no problem. Been a little while, so...
yeah, Matt was on like a 3-month trip through like New Zealand, and was it just New Zealand or were there other places?
No, just down New Zealand.
It was all through New Zealand, yeah.
Doing some remote work down there, but anyway, we didn't get a chance to record anything, but yeah, so it feels like it's been a while, but nice to get a pod going again. So cool.
So on the plus side of it being a while, you've had the chance to finish Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think I don't even think you started yet when we did our, because it was like our Christmas, I think it was like our end of the year episode or whatever.
Yes.
And I had got you that for Christmas, so I don't think you had, or was it birthday I got it? No, it was Christmas.
Nope. It was Christmas, and I made a point not to start it until I got on the plane, to New Zealand. So that was early January. So it was well after our end of the year episode. So yeah.
So that's the bonus of us not recording for a while. So now we can literally talk about that entire game, which is basically what 90% of what this episode is going to be. What I've been doing. So I upgraded. I went back and I started playing just some of because I'm really between big game releases right now. Monster Hunter Wilds came out, and I'll talk about that in a future episode because I got 100 hours on that, and that came out at the end of February. But I'm kind of done everything I want to do with it right now, and there's an Expedition 33 whatever game coming out later this month.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of in this in between period. So I was going back and playing some of the Switch Online stuff.
Oh. Okay.
I went through DKC 1 and 100%ed it, every bonus and everything. And I'm probably 3/4 through DKC 2 now. I don't think I'm gonna 100% that one because there's so much more stuff to collect in that game. And it's I'll be happy enough just seeing all the levels again, and I'll look for secrets, but I'm not gonna exhaustively try to complete every level.
Yeah. That's such a good game. I love that one
because I have the SNES Switch controller too, so it just
nice.
Feels so good.
So the music in that is one of my favorites. Yeah,
and it holds up. I'll play that with headphones, and it doesn't have the sort of grating sound of some older soundtracks or whatever. It's just so good. So yeah, playing through those two. I upgraded. So these were always sold out every time I would look, and a couple weeks ago I looked online and they were in stock. So I bought one and upgraded by subscription. But I got the N64 Switch controller.
Oh, nice!
Because they were always sold out. So I picked this up, and it's it's exactly it's definitely more stiff of a controller than, but maybe it's because we're used to them getting worn down. But anyway,
wow, sweet.
So I bought that, and when I was able to get my hands on that, I upgraded my Switch or my Nintendo membership or whatever to get the N64 online stuff.
Okay.
And it also gives the Game Boy Advance stuff, which I've been going through some stuff there. But GoldenEye is on the N64 online, and man, so I've been going through there's Agent, Secret Agent, and 00 Agent, and I've been I went through it all on Secret Agent because I didn't want to just plow through it. I wanted to and that game's hard.
Totally.
There was a few stages where there was a number of resets. And part of it is the controls are really weird.
I know. I played it recently, and it's I'm so spoiled now by right analog stick being your aim, and instead you need to R and then look
aim,
around.
But still you can strafe but move the camera up and down, and
it
definitely took a few hours to reacclimate, and I'm still not great at it like I would have been
Hmm.
back then when I didn't know
Yeah.
the other, anything
Yeah.
better. Um, but so I went through and I beat all the levels on Secret Agent, and that unlocks one of the secret levels, and then the other
Mm.
secret level you have to beat everything on Double O Agent.
Yeah.
But I was I would get every cheat for agent and secret agent. Like if I got to a
Mm.
level that was like a secret agent level for to unlock, I was like, okay, what's the time? I was like, okay, I can let me just do this a few times and I can like
Yeah.
get through. There were a couple that were a little tricky, but definitely it's such a nostalgic feeling of like because you finish the level, you like skip past the cutscene, you go
Mm.
to like the dossier
Mm.
screen, and it's like red text, and it makes a set like this special like almost like this like symbols sort of sound like a
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how to describe it, but it definitely makes a unique sound for if you unlock the cheat, and it just like mashing through to like did I get it, and see the red text and hear that sound, you're like I got it. It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
remember that feeling of like of getting those. And so I got all of the agent and all of the secret agent cheats. Um, even and without doing like without cheesing it with like save states because you can do that on the online
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I didn't use those for any of that stuff. And so I'm gonna go try and go through them on Double O Agent now. I
Mm.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to get the facility cheat again because that was like the hardest one. That
Right,
was
right,
the
right. Yeah.
invincibility cheat, and it's like you got to beat that level on Double O Agent in like 2.5 minutes or something.
Mm.
But anyway, it's been super nostalgic going through that, and it has like Banjo Kazooie, so I played a little bit of that. Star Fox 64 I was playing a little bit of that. Like a lot of
Ah,
nostalgic games on there for sure that feel really good to play with the old school controller.
yeah.
Um, so
We
that's sort of what I've been doing once I sort of was wrapping up Monster Hunter and waiting for these other games to come out. I've just been like on this nostalgia trip.
we when I get together with Bill, Ed, and Bobby every kind of November, and we do like our football weekend. We always Bill's got his old N64,
Sure.
and like and they Mario Tennis, and all we do is play Mario
So
Tennis, and it's incredible.
that is on there. I was gonna try. I was like, I think this game is awesome, and I'm pretty sure I remember this game is fucking the best,
Oh
and so
man,
I want to try it again.
it's so good. Like we just like it's just beer fueled tennis all night long with trash talking and like
Yeah, I remember it being
screaming and
intense when you're playing with
oh yeah,
someone. Yeah. And
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what you need the C buttons for in that game. I'll have to see, but like
I don't. Yeah.
that's the annoying part of using a normal controller. But I don't imagine
Mm.
you use the C buttons for much in that game. So like
I
you
don't
could
think it. At least maybe you can, and I'm just it's like B and A. That's all.
okay.
Maybe R. Yeah,
So it would
but
be
yeah.
something that like we could play like even though I only have one N64 controller,
Hmm.
like the other
Hmm.
person can use the Pro controller, and
Oh
it
yeah,
should work
yeah,
pretty well
yeah,
without having C buttons or whatever.
yeah.
Um,
That would be a really fun like me, you, Mike, and like someone else kind of thing. Like
yeah,
that would be a pretty because it's it is classic four player N64.
sure.
So yeah,
Yeah, maybe when you
um,
come home for sometime in the summer or whatever, if you
yeah,
do, we
that'd be
can
really fun.
try to get some of that going. Another
Yeah.
one that would be fun to record at some point is that I don't know why I was thinking about this the other day, but that of course now I'm gonna forget the name of it. What is it called? Like Rocket something?
N64?
No. This is way like super tangent. We played it when you
Oh,
were home for like Christmas,
oh,
where you're
yeah.
just kicking the ball back and forth.
That would be fun. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, like Lethal Blaze or something like that.
because
Anyway,
we were having a riot playing that. Yeah,
yeah,
that
that
was
game is
so
so
good.
fun.
Yeah. Th-
Um, that'd be a fun one to do too when maybe when you come home.
Yeah. And just quickly, I was scrolling through all the games. I don't have the Switch Online, whatever, but like was scrolling through all the games that are available. And man, nostalgia times a million just watching the like videos. Just essentially, it's like the title screen and then a little bit of gameplay, Wave Race.
Oh
Holy
yeah, that's on
crap.
there too. Yeah,
Oh man, just the
I played a little
music.
bit of that, but I want to like now that I'm like kind of finishing what I was wanted to do on Goldeneye, I want to like deep dive on Wave Race again because and Pilot Wings that's on there too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
those were two that I remember we played a shitload of, and
And
Wave
just
Race
yeah, oh,
especially was just so good.
the music in that, just like the music of the title screen, like I was just like, holy crap. I don't think I've heard this or even thought about Wave Race since like I think the last time I thought about Wave Race is the last time I played Wave Race,
Yeah.
which was, 30
I
years ago.
found on like Spotify, I found like it's like a lo-fi remix of the Wave Race options menu, and it's
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
And I found this like a while ago, so that's why I kind of remembered some of the Wave Race music. It's such a very specific like
Yeah.
thing to cover, but it's like it because it's kind of like the bossa nova sort of lo-fi.
Mm,
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna dig into Wave Race for sure.
yeah.
GoldenEye was the obvious first thing
Yeah.
I wanted to like deep dive on again for nostalgia, but Wave Race is like high up there. Like I fucking love that game. And Pilot Wings too, I did like just the beginner course of like all three events or whatever. And like
Yeah.
that game is like so chill. Like that's
Oh
such a
yeah, that
fun
game's
game.
really good. Um, but yeah, definitely get Mario Tennis going on because and like it's so fun, especially like when the four of us play. Everyone is always playing, like no one's sitting out. And what we do is we just like four of us pick our characters, and then when you're picking the teams, we're just like like kind of
Okay.
randomizer to see
Sure.
who's against who. And just like we all have our favorite, so it's never like fighting for character.
Right.
And I'm always net presence, immediately up at the net, and pow. But anyway, that's an amazing game for sure.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll try to coordinate something like that whenever you visit. Um, so anyway, that's basically what I've been playing. With between that and just like I said, Monster Hunter. There's a new patch for Final Fantasy 14, so I've been doing that stuff too. There's a lot of like FF9 references in the last
oh
couple
cool.
patches. So one of I don't know if you remember from 9 when you're fighting Beatrix, and it's just like her theme that plays.
Okay.
The boss that is in this new patch is like a mechanical version of her, basically, and it
Hmm.
like plays a new version of her theme, but like a battle version.
Oh cool.
So anyway, it's very cool. So that's been sort of keeping me busy until there's a number of games coming out like over the next couple months that I'll be diving into. So yeah, GoldenEye has been such a nostalgia trip going through it again, and yeah, I just like it. If you can get past the weird controls, it definitely still holds up. Like it's definitely
Oh
still
yeah.
a super fun game, and just some of like the dumb like the way the enemy AI is sometimes, or just some
I
of the
know, and
like
that's like the best
animations.
part.
Like it just sometimes can be so funny. So anyway, that's what I've been playing. Doing a bunch of that. But what you've been playing is one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh,
So
nice.
you
Yeah.
finished, and you had to be clear, you had the definitive edition for the Switch, which like
Yeah.
fixes a lot of things and a lot of good quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
And so when the first game came out on the Wii, they didn't have the sort of like anime visual style. It was more
Okay.
like not realistic, but like what all 3D games sort of looked like back
I
then.
see.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when the second game came out, they sort of switched direction to like not need as because like when you go that route, if it doesn't look like super realistic, it looks weird. Whereas
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
and sort of animated visual style can be less, photo real, less detailed, but still look like it's just a better visual for like a
Yeah.
lower powered system.
It pulls it off better, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that game switched to that sort of style. And then so when they remade the first one, they it's like I should show you pictures of what it looked like before because it's not just like an upres.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's like a
not
full on.
they like
Yeah.
rebuilt it completely from a visual standpoint,
Awesome.
to bring it in line with how the second game looks,
Yeah.
just for that sort of coherence. But
And
yeah, it's
by the second game, you mean like is it Xenoblade Chronicles 2
sure,
or
yeah,
okay.
Xenoblade Chronicles
Okay.
2, yeah, went more of
Okay.
the
Yeah.
anime style. Um, and it just brings it more in line with the way that one looks. So,
Mm.
anyway, so yeah, I love that game so much, and it was so the way I may have told this story before, but the way I came across it is, um, when I used to stream, this is like 12 or 13 years ago when I would like stream like pretty regularly.
Hmm.
I streamed a lot of like Final Fantasy and like JRPGs and stuff.
Yeah.
And one or two of my viewers said, "Oh, have you ever played Xenoblade Chronicles?" And
Hmm.
I was pretty sure it was like sort of tangentially connected to Xenogears, just
Yeah.
in terms of some of the people behind the like the director or the writer or something. Like I knew there was some correlation there. But I was like, I don't know anything about the game though,
Mm.
and so like a couple of them said like if you ever see it at like GameStop or whatever, because it
Yeah.
wasn't being sold new anymore, like
Yeah.
it did its run. They're just like, yeah, if you ever see it, just like buy it, like
Hmm.
based off the games I was streaming, they're like, you will like it based
Yeah.
off, you know, my love of JRPGs or whatever. And it was just like I went to EB or GameStop, whatever, and I was looking through it like, oh, like I think this is the game that someone they were telling me about, like I've Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm like, I went up to the guy and I was like yeah, it's like I'll get this, and I was just like, my friends told me I'd probably like it, and he's like, where did you get that? And I was like, oh, it was just in the pile. He's like, God damn it, I've been waiting for this to come in. So like the
Oh
guy that
no.
worked there, like he must have not been there when it got traded in or whatever. And he was like, motherfucker. I was like, oh, sorry.
All right, hey, maybe I'll bring it back when I'm done with it. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So and then when I had started playing it, I started streaming it, but I eventually played it off stream because it was just so long that like I
yeah,
didn't want to stop playing when I was not during like my streaming time or whatever.
yeah.
But I streamed up like probably up until uh I think when you get to like the marsh,
Okay.
I think I streamed it till around there, and then I just like, I'm just gonna play this on my own time because I want to just sink a bunch of time into it. Um, and my chat was super good at not spoiling one of the big
Mm.
things that happens early on.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So you know when you're playing, you're like, oh, I like these three characters. They make a
yeah.
really good, they really complement each other's style really well and all this stuff.
Can't wait to learn about all three of them throughout the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you get that like very famous amongst Xenoblade Chronicles like fan base.
Hmm.
That whole sequence when they like invade your
Hmm.
colony or whatever, and Fiora gets killed by the faced Mechon or whatever. And like
Yeah.
that, I think that's the first time you hear that track in the game.
Yeah.
That play, it's called like "Engage the Enemy" or whatever, I think is the name of the song. But
Yeah.
it's like that teaches you. It's like all throughout the rest of the game, if that song starts playing, you're like, oh fuck, something's
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So no, it was just like, oh Jesus, like killing off a main character like ASAP, like
Yeah.
and it's funny because that happens pretty early. Like how,
So
like within a
like you do the little side mission with like you have to go into some caves to get
Mhm.
through to go around to like get the like fuel capsule things or whatever. So you do like
Yeah,
a dungeon crawl with her at least.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like she's got like, a bunch of
A
art
full,
she's learning. Like it's like, yeah,
yeah,
this seems like does not seem like a guest character or
yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Because again, I can't remember every moment of the entire game, but because I think what happened was I was like, okay, I have this game. Garrett got it for me for Christmas, and like I I I I know that this game, I know I'm gonna like this game, and I don't want to start it now because I want that like, oh, I love this game and I don't want to put it down. Like I
Yeah.
need that um honeymoon period or whatever for the plane. Like that's a 14-hour flight. Like
Sure.
I want to like blink and then that flight is over. And
Yeah.
if I get through like this, holy crap, I didn't realize I just played 12 hours just now.
Yeah.
If I get that before the plane, then I'm like, oh God damn it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to play it until kind of like the trip started. And then so it was like, oh, we had a huge layover in Vancouver. So I was like, okay, look, this isn't for the plane, but at least I'll put like I need to kill some time in the airport. So this is as good a time to
Yeah.
get obsessed with a game as any. So I think I played a bit in the airport and then on the plane. And then like that happened like on the flight. And I was like, the fuck is this game? And then like I had to like stop playing for a bit. I was like, ah, screw this game. I was like, I'm gonna watch some Severance or something. But anyways, I was like pretty shocked. And like, oh, I need a break here. Like, what is this game doing? This game's too intense. But anyways, yeah, it was pretty shocking
Yeah.
reveal. Yeah.
Yeah. That one really gut punched me for sure. Um and then like yeah, so like and I feel like that's the first cutscene that like really showcases why. I mean, I know some people swear by the dubbed version because it's such a meme, but like that cutscene, I feel like really shows off the caliber of the Japanese voice talent in that game. Like that is
Yeah.
so intense, and just like the acting is like so like like gut wrenching. Like the way, oh god, it like
Yeah.
gives me chills just like talking about it.
I That's one of my notes here of just like the voice acting in that game is incredible.
Yeah,
And sorry, the Japanese voice acting for
yeah,
sure. I have not played 1 second of it in dubbed version. Because
you're fine.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry about it.
Because Garrett told me exactly like
I think I
what
sent you a screenshot of my settings. I'm like,
yeah,
just do
exactly.
this for
Yeah,
optimal
like
experience.
yeah, okay. So I think I like did that pre-travel. Like I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I can go into like the menu and like here and do that. I can then that's I'm allowed to do.
Yeah.
But no, the voice acting's so good, especially in really raw emotional
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
Holy crap, it's so well done. It does not feel forced at all. Like it's real. It is
Yeah.
real acting. They do a really good job.
It's probably one of like truly I think it's one of, at least in Japanese, it's probably one of the best like quality voice acting in any game I've ever played. Like in terms of like a Japanese voice cast.
Yeah.
It's like that's the bar for me. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you compare to Xenoblade's voiceover? Like if
Yeah.
I'm playing another game in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just outstanding. Um, the Another thing I love is so like around that point in the game, like when Shulk starts using the Monado and he
Yeah.
starts getting the visions. One thing, and we've talked about this for sure about other games, I love how they use that him getting visions as a mechanic in
Yeah.
battles.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
just fucking love when they tie like a narrative thing into like
Battle
directly
mechanic or
a gameplay mechanic or battle mechanic or whatever. Like I
yeah.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you're like, depending on the type of, now that's a good question for someone who played it for the first time. How long did it take you to understand that system? Because
Oh yeah.
it's complicated.
I wrote down here one of my notes. I still don't fully understand the combat system sometimes. Like it'll be like, okay, there's a vision, and so maybe you can help me out here. Like,
Sure.
I see a vision. It's like, okay, this monster is going to do something crazy to
That character.
Ryan. And okay, so clearly I will focus on that monster. And I don't know, I feel like if I do a pretty high, big move, and I've got
Like eight
it's
seconds
like
or
eight
something.
eight seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least there's a timer going down and it's got like an 8 or whatever, and I do something and you get a very, very satisfying breaking noise
Yes.
when you kind of interrupt it. And
Yeah.
no, now it's a 6 or a 2, whatever. And then like anyway, and I do it enough, then it's like, especially if I can topple it or daze
Yeah.
it or whatever, it seems kind of like, okay, I stopped that from happening.
Yeah.
But what does it? Not quite sure. Is
So
there a
the
specific thing?
the basic breakdown of it is like depending. I think it's the color of the name of the move.
Okay, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
okay, if it's white, you have to give them shield, or
Mm,
white. If it's white, I think you have to give them speed because it's just a physical hit. If it's
mm.
like red, it's an art, so you have to give them shield. And I think there's one that you can't interrupt with any of your things. So you want to like topple them, or stun them, or do something to like stop them from attacking.
Yeah.
And depending, like it'll say like pulverizing shot
Mm.
7, and it's like okay, you need to give them, if it's purple, it's like you have to give them at least shield that's leveled up to like the 7th rank to like
Okay.
prevent that or whatever.
That makes
um
sense.
yeah,
Because like there'll be a lot of things where it's like, oh, there, and I think I was doing a bit of this without knowing it, of like, oh, they're doing this very obviously physical move to um Amelia or whatever, and it's like, okay, I know Charlotte has a like nullify physical
yeah,
damage move.
or
And then
stuff
I
like
would do,
that. Yeah, like
yeah,
shield
and then
your person, or taunt, have like Ryan taunt them because he probably won't die from it. Or
yeah,
like yeah, there's like different ways of doing that breaking effect or whatever. Yeah,
and it'd be like, oh, okay, I'll do this nullify physical damage thing to Amelia because she's the one being targeted. And then
yeah,
like she was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah, I guess that's part of it too.
yeah. And then
Anyway,
you can also like, instead of using like a Monado art, you could like spend one of your blue little
yeah,
rectangles to like, well, like you said, like
force,
tell.
yeah.
It's always confusing because it's Carla, but it's written Charla, so I just say Carla
Okay,
because
yeah,
I'm used to hearing the Japanese names, so I just usually say those ones.
I
Um,
almost said Carla, but I was like, I don't know what the right one.
yeah, yeah. I just
If
say the
that,
Japanese ones
okay,
because
uh,
it's easier on my brain. Um, and so yeah, you can like spend a thing to tell Carla to give them a shield
yeah,
to or you can use your Monado art to give them speed, or yeah, it's just
yeah,
like it's fun that there's like, because like you can also play the game not controlling Shulk. So it's like you have to have other ways of doing that, or you can spend a thing to tell him to put the art on you,
yeah,
and that kind of thing. So,
exactly. So no, it'd be like, so it's funny. I went through, hmm, half the game, at least half the game, like Shulk as my main.
yeah,
You're forced to use other people sometimes, which I
yep,
like.
yep,
And it's like, oh, Ryan is pretty fun to control as a tank. Yeah, he's a clear tank kind of
yep,
thing. And then Dumban was like, oh, cool. I like the bleed mechanic to lead into other things,
yep,
whatever. And it's like, oh, that was fun, but I like Shulk. He's and I went, yeah, half to I don't know, 2/3 of the game with like Shulk, Ryan, and Carla as
yep,
my team.
yep,
And full and that was my team for a long time. And then I was like, I feel like Melia could be really fun. Once I learned what the hell her
yeah. I
whole
know.
deal is.
You're like, oh, she's just a mage, so you probably just cast spells. Like, no, 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 no.
Yeah,
Xenoblade is not that simple.
and so I'd be like, I'm casting spells and I'm not fucking doing anything. I was like, oh no, I'm like summoning them and I need to cast them or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's how this works. But and then my main team till like for like the last, I don't know, third of the game kind of changed to Melia, um, I guess Rhine. No, Melia Shulk as a secondary, and Carla.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and then last like chapter, uh, I don't use Fiora enough. She's in. So she replaced Ryan, and then I was like, now this is my fucking team. So so
And
Melia,
Fiora
Fiora,
Fiora
and
is
Carla.
fun because like you can give her like different equipment things to like, oh,
Yeah,
you're a tank now, or oh,
yeah.
you're a super insane DPS like auto attack. Like, uh, I so my first almost entire playthrough was
Mm.
Shulk, Ryan, and Carla, or
Uh,
Charlotte, Carla, yeah.
mhm.
Um, that was almost my entire first playthrough because I'm like
Yeah,
DPS, healer, tank. I
yeah,
know how
yeah,
this works. I'm
yeah.
comfortable with this. I can do it. And then when I did like a second playthrough, that's when I was like, oh, I really want to try like so Dunban is you can build him like basically like an evasion tank. So like
Mm.
he holds aggro, but he dodges everything. So
Oh,
it's like
okay,
it's
nice.
not about him blocking and taking hits with a large health pool. It's about him just dodging everything.
He takes
Um,
their attention, but also doesn't get hit enough
right.
to need high HP or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
And I so my second playthrough I did mostly entirely Dunban, Shulk, and Melia because
Mm,
since Dunban doesn't take like direct damage often, with
mm.
Melia you can summon like one or two of the water elements
Yeah,
because that just
yeah.
like heals you over time and
Yep,
it stacks. So if you have two of them up, it like heals more over time. And so
yep,
I would
yeah.
just like I would and during that playthrough I controlled Melia a lot because the AI for her is pretty dumb and it's not
Yeah,
very it doesn't know what you want her like you can't tell her to be like be a healer.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
AI doesn't really know how to handle that. My only critique about the battle system is I wish you could switch characters on the fly. Like
Yeah.
switch who you're
Like
controlling.
FF7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um,
And it's funny because like when I was first playing this, and I was like, why can't I control the other people? I don't know what they're doing, and I want them to do certain things.
yeah,
Anyway, it's just because I didn't know how the game worked or
yeah, yeah.
whatever. And I was um, like I was like, Carla, I love you, but I need you to heal, and you're not healing enough. And so I was like, I guess I just need to make most of her, like all of her arts
Yeah,
are
like the
like
heal ones.
blue. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I guess that's gonna be your fucking deal then. And now she's a great healer.
Yeah.
And then like Ryan, I'd be Shulk and I'd do a pink hit, whatever it's called,
Oh, the it causes break, or I forget which one
break,
it is, but yeah,
break, yeah.
air slash maybe, but yeah, the one that
Anyway,
causes
yeah, it causes
break.
break, and I'd be like, Ryan, where's your why did it go down? Like, come on, like, come on, like, why isn't he doing it? God damn it! And it's just like, okay, I just need the timing right. It's like he did
It,
it
wa-
previously or
and it was on
whatever.
cooldown, or like yeah, it's usually pretty smart if the move is available.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, otherwise it can be a little hit or miss.
But then when I in like my I really like controlling Melia.
Yeah,
Because you summon water, and if they're nearby, or if you do kind of the expanded spell or whatever, it casts regen kind of on your on just by summoning it,
yes,
and then by using it, it
it like
heals
it
you.
like absorbs
Um,
health. Yeah,
and then yeah, there's like one art that sacrifice some of your health to
yeah,
give to someone. So I was like, yeah, man, I just get
it's
and
so much fun.
I love it. I was like, oh, you're so I'm kind of being a healer, but also like from afar
Yeah,
caster kind of thing.
yeah,
But the kind of broken move for me is she has this like um poke or whatever that, and then if you do this other
yeah.
move right
The
after where she
kick.
like yeah she
She
like
runs up and
dives
like
at them.
drop kicks them. Yeah, it's so funny.
It goes into
It topples.
topple.
Yeah,
And then so I was like, okay, well then Fiora, or I have a for a day's move for Carla as well. So
yep.
it's like, okay, there, topple days, and then like some gems that kind of do some good stuff with days. And so
Oh yeah,
that yeah.
okay, that's the other thing as a new player. The gem crafting, don't feel bad if you don't understand it, because I don't either. And I played the game
Okay.
like 4 times.
Note number 5. I still don't fully understand the
Yeah.
gem system.
I have like I know the three stats that it shows, like one of them means how many times you can go like per like gem crafting. One of them is like how much they'll go up by, and one of them is like triggers those like multi ones, but I don't
Yeah.
know what any of them are, and I don't know what the best combo is. I'll just kind of mix. I'll do one combo, and I was like, oh, that did a lot of increments, or it did like little increments, but for like 10 at a
All
time.
of them.
So I'll
Yeah,
put a
yeah, yeah.
bunch in and I'll do them again, and I'll try to get them up. I do understand how you get it. Like you have to get it up to 100,
Yeah.
and then you have a number of how many you can like save and
Pick
use
after.
over. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm always like a little careful. Like, ooh, I think I only get to pick one.
Yeah.
So don't have like 20 because you're gonna have to waste one or whatever.
Or just
I
throw in
remember
ones that you never use just to fill it up.
just to get it to 100. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember like when I got Fiora later, it was like, oh, she starts the gem crafting at level 3 or 3 full whatever. So now I was like, cool, cool. I definitely know what that means. Oh yeah. Oh, great. That's a good one. But I was
Yeah.
like, I essentially, because I played with Shulk and Rhine for so long, I was like, all right,
Just use them.
Shulk goes into a fever. Is like, that sounds like it's probably a good thing. And then Rhine has like strong flame is the best. And so I was like, that sounds good too. They've
All
got
this
like
sounds good.
all of this sounds good. They've got like 12 to 15. They've got max affinity. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I guess this makes the most sense. And
Yeah.
then
I played the game like 4 times, and that's still how I do it. I'm like,
okay.
this looks kind of good, I guess. You
And
know,
I was
the number's big, so that means it's good, right? Yeah, I'll do that one.
yeah. And I'll just
Um,
like hold A
yeah,
and just it still makes me laugh. And it's like
yeah. The animation is, and I don't. I feel like in the original game you couldn't speed it up.
oh God.
I might be wrong. Maybe I just didn't know you could until later in my first playthrough. But I feel like that was the thing that added in the definitive edition. I could be wrong, but yeah, it
That
is funny
that
watching
does
them in
sound like
fast motion.
that sounds like a classic quality of life
Yeah,
improvement on on a remaster or whatever. So
yeah.
yeah. Um
But once you
but
start like knowing it enough to make gems, it's really fun to then like even further customize your like how that character plays. So when I
yeah.
was talking about Fiora earlier, it's like I had her on my second playthrough because I did Rhine, Carla, and a Shulk, and
Mhm.
then I did like Dunban, Shulk, and Melia, and then when I went through like not that long ago, I really wanted to use Fiora more,
Mhm.
and so I put I think it was like Dunban, Fiora, and Melia or Carla. I can't remember which I did for a healer. I think I did Carla so I didn't have to like so she could kind of autopilot heal and not have to have
Yeah.
me, controlling her. But
Yeah.
like I had like what are they called? Double attack gems.
Yep.
I
Yep.
had like 4 or 5 high rank ones of those in Fiora's attack, and like
Yeah.
one of her things was like it was like hasted herself and
Mm.
increased her auto attack or her double attack. So just like 10 hits, 10 hits, 10 hits. It's like boom, 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 boom. Like it was like she is in, and like she could never, or she would always pull aggro from whatever type
Nice.
because she just
Yeah.
hit so many times, and
Yeah.
playing a good like super fast like auto attack build with her was like
Yeah.
oh, and I felt like every time I went through the game and like kind of mained a different character, I was like,
Mm.
oh, this is how you play the game. Oh no,
Yeah.
this is how you play the game. Oh no, this is how you play the game. And
Yeah.
like it really like the uniqueness of them, of the way they play. It's like I don't know. It's just like they're not just a boring healer or they're not just a boring tank. Like they actually have
Yep.
like even especially between like Ryan and Dunban, like they're both tanks, but in very different ways if you
Yeah.
play them,
Yeah.
right?
So like
yeah, I just love that.
gems can really, and it kind of felt very materia like
Yes,
and
100%.
so I,
Yeah.
and so I like that. um and it'd be like, and it wasn't just as simple as, look, some HP up 6 or whatever. Like, don't just, okay, he's got 9999. Like, there's more to it than that. Like,
Yeah.
what else? Um,
The way you say, so it just reminded me of Always Sunny when Dennis and Dee are doing a podcast, and he's like annoyed that she's pressing all these buttons, and does like a laser sound, and he's like, "I like that." It's like, oh, you can put gems in your weapons. I like that.
I like that.
That's what I thought when you said it.
Oh, that's amazing. But let me think. What else?
Oh, this gem crafting, it doesn't make sense. When you put the gems in your weapons. Well, hold on now.
Yeah. Hold on. Now we're talking here. Like, because it was like, here's a tutorial on gem crafting, and it's like, okay, like it's like I don't even know what gems are, but sure, I'll go through this crazy tutorial about fever states and the strength of the flame, and then it was like, okay, I'm a little intimidated by this. I don't think I'm going to be doing any gem crafting just yet. And then like, oh wait, now I'm getting weapons now that have gem slots. Oh, okay, so now let's hear more about this gem crafting. I like that. But okay, what else do I have here? Yeah, the music I love.
It's
And
so good.
And I'd say like when I first started, like let's say like the first hour, I was just kind of like, I kind of expected more for a JRPG. Like I think like the first theme,
like the town, the colony town, and the cave theme is like, whatever. It's just
yeah, like I like the town. The cave was a little bit like meh, but even like there's almost, and it still sounds a little clunky to me, and like there's a super intense, and it's kind of operatic, but it's kind of like not, it doesn't sound very human like opera. It almost sounds like keyboard opera.
Sure.
And I'm just like, I don't know. This could probably be better.
Like a battle theme or like a.
No, it was like a cutscene kind of thing.
Okay.
But anyways, but then like as you went along, I was like, fuck, this music's good. And I think I was like, oh, this music is pretty good. This cave theme it's I mean, generic JRPG
that one's
cave.
nothing.
Who cares?
That's nobody's favorite track.
Yeah, you don't bring out the big guns for, a cave, right?
Yeah.
And then like, but then maybe like Colony 6 like has a nice and like the theme there, like, oh, like this is a banger. Like I think it's like, the theme that gets covered. But then
the Gower Plains, I think, probably.
Yeah. But then the marsh in the day. So in the day, I was like, this is fucking awful. And then it gets to night, and it's like, I love this place. The music and just like the
look of it,
or Northern Lights kind of thing. So it'd be like, and it's daytime, you hear like frogs croaking, and you're like, fuck this. What nighttime again? Sweet, here we go.
The reverse is true for me for the snowy area.
Yeah.
The daytime theme is like one of my favorite environmental themes in that whole game. And the nighttime is like, as soon as I hear it switch over, like 1 second, change time. Okay, 7 a.m. Here we go.
Here we go. Yep, max out this one for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love. I'd like just walking around in the marshy area with the visual. I'm just like, fuck, this is beautiful. Yeah, that was really really cool. My favorite track though, and I don't know the name of it, but like when you're in the Mechonis, and it's like just
I think I know which is it, like when you're exploring,
like when you're it's like it's not the city that you have ultimately get to, but like it almost feels like you're in a big factory and going up and up and up and up,
and you're in there for a while,
a long time.
And it's like kind of synthy sort of like electronic sort of it's like Mechonis Field or something in that name, that track.
Yeah, and I remember like
that's so good.
And so not the weapon, not the spear that you're on, whatever, but like when you're
No. Yeah, yeah.
in the
Yes.
Mechonis. And I remember when it first started, I was like, this is kind of like this is going to be hard to listen to for a long time because it's just like beep more, whatever. But then it just like really, and you're like, this is awesome.
It's almost like I think you call it like progressive trance, where it like starts with like one layer
Yeah.
and then like another layer and then the
Yes.
like
Yeah.
final layer. And when
Yeah.
it all starts like popping off, like yeah, that song is like I just said the snowy one is probably is one of my favorites, but that would be the tie of like I wouldn't be able to pick between
Yeah.
because they fit their environment so well. Like the snowy
Oh yeah.
theme is so
I
perfect for a
know.
snowy area. And that one is more like electronic sounding, obviously, because you're like inside the Mechonis or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, that one I fucking love that song.
I
Like
know.
I am not bothered by how long you're exploring that area because of how good
Yeah.
and I don't think it switches day and night. I think it's just the one track the whole time. I don't think it switches.
If it does switch, it's very subtle.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's just the same, but it's called McConnell's Field, I believe, if you want to look it
Okay.
up after for
And
um
and I liked that level. Like I was just like,
yeah.
man, making kind of columns come up and hit this switch and da da da. Like, yeah, man, I can do this all day.
And it's so impressive to me the scale of that world. Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't understand what it is about it, but they just do such a good job at like really giving you a sense of how tiny you are on these giant,
Yeah.
titans or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're I don't remember the exact extent of it, but they got help from Monolith Soft, who made the people who made Xenoblade. They
Yeah.
got help from them when they were creating Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
Just with
really?
the world design or I don't remember what to the extent they got their help, but they definitely got their help with just like the open worldness of that game.
I definitely felt like Breath of the Wild kind of
Mhm.
vibes and like it was funny. It took me a little while to like, because I was just like, okay, go to the cave and then like follow the dotted, whatever. Because I know, and you had said like, look, don't get too work because I mentioned this on the pod,
Completionist.
like and especially like side quests,
Yeah.
like not just completionist, but like there's a meme of just like person on the main quest
Yeah.
waiting for you to finish all your side quests. That's me. I'm not do the side quest after. It's like,
Yeah.
no. You're gonna wait at that gate for 5 years while I go do every side quest. And then, oh hey, are you ready to go yet? No, not yet. So I kind of was like, oh, okay. I can't fight that 100%, but I will try to just like push through with the story. And was doing that. But then at like one point it was like, I don't know if I'm really all that leveled that well. And then like I don't really know where to go. Or I think it was like, I'm not quite digging the story right now. It's like I wonder if there's places I haven't explored yet. And then I went to the Bionis leg or whatever, like the pretty big area
Yeah,
in
Gower
Bionis.
Plains probably one of the
Yeah,
one of the first really big areas.
yeah. And it was like, oh, there's some um clearly blurred edge to the map. It's like there's probably something up there. Like, oh crap. Oh man. And then I realized that like if you go into the map like by hitting Y, whatever, it's like, oh, okay, this is what I've covered.
Yeah.
But then if you left stick click, it shows you more, like it shows you stuff that you haven't gone to yet, but obviously limited to your current radius kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's like, oh man, like there is a huge area over here.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's the like overlay map. Like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
that's new. That's they added that in the
Oh, okay.
definitive, and I like that because
Yeah,
you can see the topography even if it's not on your normal map,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like yeah, it's I like that, and I
yeah.
think even quest icons will show up on that map if I'm remembering correctly.
At least, yeah, at least they'll show up. I don't know if they'll show up on the edge, but they'll show up if they're within your field of vision, at
Okay,
least.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway, but like, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, if I want to look at the map and go all over the place, it's limited to where you've been. But if I
yeah.
want to know what's the
What's
map
around you?
around me,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, okay, I'm walking towards this place that I haven't explored yet. And now that I'm there, it's like, oh shit, there is a whole other world over here.
yeah,
It's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going exploring on my own adventure.
yep.
The Council of Entia, whatever, people can wait. I've got some exploring to do. And it was like, oh man, like it's not about grinding with battles. It's about like do some side quests. Like that's how you get like
Yeah.
real kind of experience.
Yeah.
And so anyways,
And
so I
it
did.
has the perfect system that I almost feel I wish like every JRPG would have, where you can just like bank XP and level yourself down. So if you
Yeah,
do extra stuff and you're like, oh, I'm like level 47 and this quest is like main quest is 35, let me
yeah,
just bring myself down to that area, because
yeah,
I don't like plowing through stuff like that. And then you can just you're still getting XP adding to your bank, and then you can just
yeah.
bump yourself back up later if you have to.
And so I think you can only do that on second playthrough and after. I think so. Or at least it was locked when I saw that. But
Really?
I mean, uh, I couldn't do that. But I think, yeah, I think it's on second playthrough. But at the very
I
least, I was
Oh, sure.
sorry.
I think it's a mode you have to like. I think you have to turn that thing on to do it
Okay, and
in
maybe
the
just I
menu
didn't turn it
somewhere.
on.
Yeah,
But
it's like expert mode or something. You have to like enable.
I
But
at
anyway,
the very least, since you had said like, look, don't go crazy on side quests, I was never over like I was
sure.
constantly like dying a lot,
Okay, sure.
which I liked.
Yeah,
Like, okay, this boss clearly needs me to adjust what gems I have and
yep,
things. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I have to think about this
yeah,
instead of just plowing through it, which is like this is the point, and I like this. So
yeah.
um and like man, the last boss really took me a
the
while.
the most
Yeah.
quintessential farm boy, killing rabbits, kill God.
Yes.
Like,
So
it's
I
such
wrote
a JRPG thing.
which is a meme everywhere, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I wrote down here like first mission, find this fruit for someone in your
Yeah.
community. Last quest, kill God. And it was so funny because like the last uh three chapters, you're just like, man, what like
Yeah.
we were but this is kind of going pretty you really dial into high gear at the end
Yeah.
there. It's like, okay, um we got to the top of the Bionis and like, found the golden, Mechon, like, okay, now we're going to the Mechonis. Okay, I figured we'd be getting there eventually. Okay, find him and oh God, now Zanza is bad. I get like, oh man, what is even happening here? Like,
Yeah.
oh, here we go. It really kind of gets into like, um, this is just a pretty classic like classic quest. And it's like, oh wait, is this a JRPG? Yeah, it's a JRPG. Okay, well then just we we're gonna have to dial this to 11 if we're gonna be killing God in the next chapter or two.
Yeah.
So, the stakes are high, but they're not quite high. Oh, there we go. Now we're good. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
One of
but
the big story points that I loved, and I did not see coming at all, is number one, like just finding what the faced mechon are.
yeah, yeah,
When you find out there's like people in there,
yeah.
and it's like I don't know if you remember this because it's like one of the like in the first like hour or two of the game. There's like a scene earlier when Ryan grabs the Monado and he's kind of losing control of it, and he like
Okay.
almost hits Fiora with it, and it shuts off right before it slices through her, and it's
Okay.
like because the Monado like in its normal form or whatever,
Yeah.
like it can't kill Homs or whatever they're called.
Okay.
So it's like it was a very clear demonstration that like the blade was going and like they were in the lab and like Ryan's like,
Yeah,
oh, let me
yeah.
see, and he's like losing, and it's like you see the blade come right up to Fiora and it just shuts off like right before it
Oh,
slices
okay.
through her, and
Yeah.
it's like and so like it's right there in front of you. It's like, yeah, it can't kill humans, so there are humans in those machines, but it's like you don't make that connection. I didn't
Yeah.
anyway.
No, no, no.
And then it's like that's how they're keeping their faced mechons alive, is they're like pumping the blood of humans like in its circuitry or whatever, and like
Yeah.
and then obviously the reveal of Fiora being alive in one of those, that was like
I was just
heartbreaking.
um I was home by that point. So I was kind of like playing in, full on setup instead of just handheld,
Yeah,
throughout New Zealand. And then when it was her, I was just like, it's like that was just like, whoa, oh God, like that was a huge reveal. And
yeah.
like when, it was Fiora, but it wasn't her,
She didn't
and
recognize you, and yeah, yeah,
because I was just like, that was just like, oh fuck yeah, like yes, Fiora, and it was like, oh wait, she doesn't remember anything, and she's like a robot, and I was like, that was really sad.
yeah.
That was really heartbreaking. Um,
And then like
but
Shulk's whole turn when like some of these cutscenes just gave me chills when you know it's Mumkar in the Claude one, the one that killed
yeah,
Fiora.
yeah,
And you're fighting him on top of like the mech on base on the sword or whatever.
yeah,
And like Dunban goes to kill him, and Shulk is like, now that Shulk knows it's humans,
yeah,
he's like, he stops him and he's like, no, we can't, like,
yeah,
I just like, it's such a, like, he has every reason to want to like murder him, right?
yeah,
And it's just like, I just love that he steps in and is like we can't,
we
like,
can,
what are
yeah.
we if we start killing each other? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's so
so good.
layered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible storytelling, and like it's like these mechon like destroyed your colony, and then like to have the, I don't know, maturity, whatever you want to call it, like no, like look, we're no better than whatever if we're killing our own. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so conflicted. I mean,
Yeah.
like the story is so Japanese. Like
Yes.
it's like this couldn't be. There's a very, oh, what are the ethics of this and that? Like yeah,
Right.
that's Japanese for sure.
Yeah.
Um the conflict between this and that is like
Yeah.
anyway, that was I should have, like, I felt stupid that I didn't know it was Mumkar. That metal
S-
face.
Same, but I
Yeah,
still didn't. And he's even using claws like Mumkar used.
I know
And like,
that
I don't know how I didn't see it, but you. It's like if you knew there were humans in there, you would have called it. Like, oh well, that's
yeah,
Mumkar. But it's like that wasn't even on my radar that they were humans in there. Like that. That's the sort of like that's the reason why it's. I mean, at least for me, why I didn't see it coming at all, because that wasn't even like a thought, like that wasn't a possibility in my head. I didn't think about it at
yeah.
all.
Because
uh
everything in hindsight, and then you're like, of course, but you weren't thinking in that way.
yeah,
Yeah, and but especially just the voice. And I mean, I know you didn't. It's not like you got to know Mumkar super
it was like
well, like
one cutscene. Yeah.
one cutscene, but like that cutscene was pretty effing awesome.
Yeah.
And then and like his voice was very recognizable. Like it was like, I don't know how to quite say this, but like there are a lot of like Japanese types of voices,
Yeah, yeah,
or like accents or dialects, whatever. And
yeah,
it's just like I love that kind of Japanese speaking.
yeah,
The other one, it's like a very guttural kind of samurai kind of voice, but this one was just like da 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 da,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
and I was like, I recognized it when it was in that first cutscene, and I really liked that guy, until he kind of, went great. All right. Anyway, um, and then I was like, I should have seen that. Like, I mean, that voice is it's just a mechanical kind
Yeah,
of version of it. I should
but you
have
just
put two
don't
and two
see it.
together.
Yeah.
No. Um, but that was cool. Man, again, I don't, his name, the son of the Mechonis, kind of like the guy who's the
Oh,
golden,
yeah, yeah.
what was his name? Uh,
God, I can't remember now, but I know he's controlling the big, and he's
the
like, you
golden.
you think he's the big villain for a
Yeah.
while until you yeah, fuck, I can't remember his name either.
So, yeah,
Eginu or Egil in English. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
His voice was awesome.
Oh
And
yeah.
like I was just like this. I I have to check. Like it really sounded like Kazuya from Tekken.
Oh sure.
And it just that's kind of the very guttural,
Yeah, that at least the same like sort of dialect
yeah,
or like voice register. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, his voice was awesome. Anytime especially like in the Mekon, it kind of echoey, but like outside of that, it was just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is anyway. He was a really good voice actor.
And then like yeah, you get to where you're fighting him, and Shulk's like, "No, I'm not going to kill you," or whatever, and like,
Yeah,
"Oh man!" And you're as the player, you're like, "Well, the game's not over, so I know we're not all gonna just. This is not just the happy ending now. Like, obviously, something's gonna go wrong." And then
yeah,
it's like, "Okay, Dixon shot me. There's a second Shulk that looks like me, and
yeah.
he's gone." It's like, whoa, what just
No,
happened?
and that's what I mean by like dialing it to 11. It's like, okay, killed the metal god of the Mechonis. Game over, right? Oh no, I guess Dixon is shot me for some reason. I'm yeah, I'm apparently Zanza. I didn't see that one coming. Oh, and all the Entia are all Telethias. Okay, I guess that too. Sure. What else you got?
Yeah, it goes.
Uh,
It really goes. And I don't mean off the rails in a bad way. It's just like it really escalates at that
Yeah, yeah,
point.
yeah. That is a
Um,
classic. Well, that escalated quickly.
yeah. And I do. So I like about Melia where I know it's in the lore somewhere, but I kind of forget that like I think it was like her father was told by maybe it was Alvis um
To
that
dilute
he
the bloodline or whatever,
yeah, he
or
had to
yeah,
like yeah, he had to have like a half Hom's, daughter or whatever to like protect their lineage or whatever. And it's
yeah,
like that's why is because if they're full blood Teleth or Entia, they're all gonna turn into Telethia at some point, and she'll be the
yeah.
one that can resist. And like it's just like it's so
They're
deep. Like
they're just like they're playing chess with your brain
yeah,
the entire time. Yeah,
yeah, and you find out like Alvis knows everything because he's a computer
yeah.
program.
Man, like, okay, two things here. One was just like Alvis had total like Sephiroth from Remake vibes for me because
Sure.
just constantly like troll like I know everything that's going on,
Yeah,
so like
that's I didn't think of that because I played the game for the first time like obviously before
before
remake.
it.
So I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really have that sort of character sort of type in my brain. But yeah, not knowing if he's good or not, he definitely would have that sort of yeah, like playing
yeah,
with you, like
yeah.
toying with you sort of thing.
The whole time, it's just like he knows something, and he's clearly just like, to, it doesn't matter. Like he knows what's going on and he's not going to tell us. So I guess we
Yeah.
just got to figure it out ourselves. But yeah, then like I remember like, yeah, okay. I think I've finally wrapped my brain around Dixon being bad, Shulk being a shell for Zanza, and now he's got both Monados, I guess now. There were and Fiora is okay now. Okay. I think there's a computer
Close.
program. Like it's like okay, it's some scientist in like
In
Earth
Earth.
outer space,
Yeah.
and it caused
And
a
I don't know
time
if
portal or
that was
uh,
like yeah, whatever technology they were like trying to create or whatever, like
yeah,
obviously went horribly wrong and like
yeah,
created this other universe.
yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but like his assistant in that
Mhm.
vision
Yeah, that was the
is Mayneth or whatever her name
yes.
is. Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
So it's
caught that
like
right away.
it like
Yeah.
obviously came from like his consciousness or whatever, and like yeah, that was. And so I think what I read before is I don't remember if it happens before or during this, but like there's something in Xenogears. There's like some floating
Yeah.
yellow thing. It is sort of related to this event or something, or it exists in the world where Klaus was.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, it's just like there's a very loose connection that I don't remember if it got created when he did this thing or it just exists in the world that Klaus exists in, and that's
Yeah,
as far as it goes.
the same universe, whatever. But yeah, I paused it for a second and I was like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
Klaus and Janice or whatever her name was,
Yeah.
just like, okay, they're just I kind of got like I was like, oh, this is kind of like there's like the Simpsons episode where like with like Bart's tooth and they creates like a little world.
Sure.
Okay, it's like, okay, he kind of like clearly created a world in which these two titans and they've got people on top of them, and I was like, okay, okay, I follow. Okay,
And it's like man and machine because he's a scientist or whatever, and it's like
yeah,
that's like the split of his personality or something that created the war between like man and machine or whatever. Like there's a lot of ways you can interpret it. What I would suggest is don't dig super into it yet,
yeah,
because
okay,
there are some like there are loose connections with like the second and third game to the
okay,
first one that are not super obvious, and I don't
okay,
want you to spoil those for yourself.
okay,
For because I'm sure you'll eventually play 2 and 3.
yeah,
And finding out what the relation between them
yeah,
is one of the best parts of the second game.
perfect.
So don't dig into the lore of like what does this mean or whatever. Like don't do that yet because I don't
Okay.
want you to stumble on someone talking about the second game or whatever.
Okay, good. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? So that happened, and then sorry.
The whole stuff
So
with Klaus.
Klaus. Then I was like, okay, so I guess, oh yeah. I had to pause it and I was like, okay, I remember the first scene of Xenogears is like some um space station traveling through space and it's infected by some sort of virus and then something lands on a planet and it's like completely unrelated to like the entire story until kind of you get to the end and
Sure.
realize it. And I was like, okay, maybe there's the whole Xeno thing is about space exploration and
Yeah.
weird shit happening and causing the development of a whole
Yeah.
universe kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's the deal. Anyway, back to Bionis and Mechonis and killing
Clearly
Zanza.
the people who pen these stories like a very specific style of sci-fi.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But anyway, so that was just like, okay, I guess there's just a lot going on. And I was like, anyway,
Yeah.
can I go fight God now? And I beat the first one of him, like, oh, okay, he kind of creates some little minions, whatever, where it's like, okay,
Oh yeah.
you clearly got to deal with those before you can really do much. But man, Fiora has like a green move that only works if you're in full aura mode, like
Yeah.
not just like the yelling face, but like with the fire kind of
Yeah.
thing. And it's just like a you know, like
Yeah.
and
I
I was
remember
like,
which move it is. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Increased aura for Fiora and every like gem possible. It's like
Sure.
any chance I can get that. She is a freaking,
And
machine with
just
that.
like the
Uh,
rhythm of battles when you get the tension circles, you gotta like hit B at the right time. Like
oh yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like it's visually like fun to watch. Like when you do that and you get like it's like a screen wipe. Like it's like
Yeah.
it does this sort of effect, and their portraits are all like you said, like yelling, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just like the flow of a battle is just so satisfying in that game. For all those
Yeah.
little things that you have to like be paying attention to, and then like you get a vision and like you gotta deal with that, and like chain attacks are really satisfying when you get like a really long like a long combo and you like do it more than 3 times and like the circle keeps getting faster.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's like trying to get that like I'm glad it gives you like a chain damage, like a total damage number. Like
Yeah,
that reminds me of like FF16 where like you get your stagger total. And
yeah.
it's like, I was like, I just keep wanting to like get that number bigger or whatever.
It's so satisfying. And like I'm glad you mentioned kind of like the flow because like there's in the final dungeon, it's like literally the last hallway, it's like a bridge into the final room, whatever, and it's just like gargoyles on every
Yeah.
thing. And you're just like, yes, I just a gauntlet.
Yeah.
There's no way, nothing else to do. But like, I got into this flow where it was just like, okay, I'm fighting like three, and there's all these Telethia kind of going around as well. And I'd kill them, but then like the next ones would kind of see me before I was done that battle. And
Yeah.
so like I was in like a battle for like a half an hour, but I was just like, I'm in such a fucking rhythm right now because
Yeah.
like I'd get a chain attack and then just, I don't know. Again, I don't understand the combat fully or anything, but it'd be like, I would just develop so much
Of the blue
party
bar.
blue bar
Yeah.
in the chain attack. And I was like, I got another one. Fuck yeah, here we
Yeah.
go.
There's one I think it's one of Dunban's moves. He does like a twirling move and like AoEs. And
Yeah.
I think that fills his talent gauge where he does like the 4-hit combo. So I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes in chain attack, I would start with that combo, and if I get around to him again, do that thing if it's a bunch because it was like, and it would fill his
Yeah.
talent gauge back up. And if I got to him again, I would do it a second time, but I'm in like the third chain, so the
Yeah.
damage
Yeah.
multiplier just like 80,000, 80,000.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it feels so good. Like, oh my God, we get those big numbers. It's so satisfying.
Oh man, and then like Fiora would be like in super aura mode. So then like I do that final chance move or whatever, like the green one, and just she's shooting beams all over the place, and then like
Yeah.
Milia is like throwing herself at a whatever, and like it's anyway, just constant, Carla just like anyway, it was that
It's so
whole,
fun.
and it was like getting like level up and AP coins and it's just like let's fucking go like like I don't even care about Zanza anymore, let's just level the hell up in this
Yeah.
hallway. Oh man, I
And the
was like
music in that final dungeon is very like
awesome.
final dungeon like feeling. And
Yeah.
I think I had said there was a moment when I was playing for the first time where I had a feeling I was like, oh, I think that I'm gonna be done soon. And it was like 100 hours in, and it was like,
Yeah.
and it was like a rare time where I'm like 90 hours into a game, and I'm like, I don't want this to end. Like and I
Yeah.
was like, it was the music in that dungeon. I was like, oh shit, I think I'm approaching the end, and
Yeah.
I don't want it to be over because that music is just very like has a finality to it. It's like
Oh
very
yeah.
clearly a final dungeon theme.
Final Dungeon JRPG for sure.
Yeah,
And like I'd say it gave me vibes, not as good, but of like the Breath of the Wild Hyrule
sure.
Castle final. Like I kind of had
Yeah,
similar kind of feeling there. So
yeah.
but yeah, that last and like that's when I had made the switch to having Melia, Fiora, and Kyla as my team. And so I was
Sure.
just like, yeah, fucking Fiora, like let's go. This is amazing.
One of the funniest things that would happen when I was playing as like controlling Melia would be, I think one of the things I would do is like, I know, so her bolt increases her ether, and fire does like an AoE fire and then like fire over damage over time. And she had
Yeah.
another, I think it was or maybe I just did double fire. But like, I remember in a chain, I had like bolt, fire, fire. And it was like, comes to her first round and she did like, I think she doesn't, oh, it's that like hand beam that she does where it just like
Yeah.
does a big AoE. And then like came around to a second chain and I'm like, fire. And it was like a lot of damage AoE because I don't remember where this was, but it was just like a lot of enemies that I kind of accidentally pulled all together.
Yeah.
And then like got her into a third chain and I'm like, fire again, and it was just like so much damage. And the chain attack was over, and all the enemies were just like, oh shit! It's like Melly is gonna die.
Yeah,
like, they all just turned like, you bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I went too hard with that AoE.
I made mistakes.
Yeah. And then of course all my chain attack was gone, so it was like they killed me, and it was like game over. I was like, God damn it!
God damn it!
It's like I got greedy. I just wanted the big numbers.
Yeah, and it is kind of funny is the wrong word, but it's just like, okay, I want to do this chain attack, but I hope I don't die immediately after because then I'm fucked.
And like, I understand like that is an annoyance for some people, but to me, it's like that's sort of the risk reward. It's like I'm going all in to do this chain attack, and it's like I'm, more or less like defenseless if this turns on me.
Yeah, I know.
But that's
I would never get angry at it. I would just be like, yep, I deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like it's a risk reward thing for sure. At least that's how I felt it. And then what else about? Oh, just one note I wrote. I just love when you're going around and like you find one of the named monsters. Even if it's not for a quest or whatever, you're just like, I'm always like, if I'm within a couple levels, like, okay, like fucking bring it on. Like I love those fights because they're like pretty intense, and you usually get really good if you're fighting them around your level. Like you get good drops off them. And that is like probably the most iconic track from the game is when you fight those named monsters. It's definitely like when that's probably the most covered version or the most covered song. Family Jewels, I think you've listened to some of his stuff before. He does a lot of rock covers. He definitely did like a lot of Octopath rock covers, so I know I've sent you his. He has like probably the best cover I've heard, like since the original soundtrack for this game is not streamable. Like if I want that song to play on one of the playlists, it's like I put his cover.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's really good. But yeah, it was always so fun. And then the flip side of that is it's like, what a lovely stroll through the canyon. Oh, a level 90 named fucking gorilla is here to destroy me. Okay. Back to the last landmark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know exactly which spot you're talking about, actually. But just that occurrence is, or even like, oh, look at this interesting part of the cave. Nothing in here except a bunch of tiny little enemies. Oh God, it's like, oh, they're red. How bad can they be? Oh, level 90. What the fuck am I doing in here? Leave, go. Oh, okay, where was my last landmark? Way the hell back here.
There's some really good memes of like getting walked up on by like a named like super high level monster. Like there's a lot of memes about this game specifically, and I think that one there's a specific one in Gower Plains because it's the first one most people have this experience with, and it's his name's like I think it's like something Gonzalez or something like that. Or maybe that's a different one. It might be a different one, but there's like a sort of like ape looking one that wanders around in that first big field area, and it's like level like 80 something, and I'm pretty sure like that exact monster with the same name is in like all three games because I'm pretty sure he exists in all three of them just because it's like the most notorious one, because that's the one that everybody that plays that game for the first time experiences that like, ooh, what's that? Oh shit. Like run away, so yeah, that's a very classic like Xenoblade experience for your first time through the game.
And like and sometimes it's like, I could walk down these stairs, or I think I have enough like I don't think it'll quite kill me, and just like jump off the cliff instead. And then the voice acting is pretty good on those, where it's just like clear. Anyway, I'm not sure exactly what they're saying, but it's always just like, "Oh, are you okay?"
That's also one funny thing about when you have it in JP is like the little quips they have after battles are not subtitled. But
Yeah.
it's like there's one where I think it's like between either Shulk and Ryan or Shulk and Carla, where
I think I know.
he loses it
Laughs.
after
Yeah.
and laughs, and it's like that one just always tickles me. It's just like guttural, like deep guttural laughter. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, he really liked that joke.
Yeah, I don't want to like redline your speakers or anything, but yeah, it's just like bah! Like it's and I laugh every time because like, oh man, like okay, I wish I knew what that joke was. It was clearly like and it's the the funniest thing is that it happens frequently. It's just
Yeah.
like you already heard this joke.
Yeah. And that is one of the reasons why, I mean, outside of just the caliber of the voice acting, which I do just think the Japanese one is better in this game, hearing them say all the stuff they're yelling during battle
Yeah.
gets really annoying when it's in English, when you
Yeah,
like
yeah,
know
yeah.
what they're saying. So yeah, it's I just another reason why I prefer the JP voiceover in
And
this
and
game.
and, and it is I find it kind of cute, we'll say, of just like Milia, where it's just like summon copy or yes,
Yeah.
summon wind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like
uh,
that. Weirdly, doesn't get annoying.
no, exactly. And
And
there's
Melia,
like
or go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like Melia is probably a like up there as my top, like my favorite character in the game. I just
Oh yeah,
love. I don't know what it is about her. Like she's just she could have easily been like the damsel in distress type of archetype, and I feel like she's not at all. Like she's
no,
very
no,
almost like fish out of water at points, where because she's so like regal and whatever, and but then also you find out like, oh, all the Nopons just like love her,
yeah,
and you know, and it's like Carla kind of noticing that she looks like she has feelings for Shulk and like trying to comfort her and like
yeah,
I don't know. It's like that. This is I feel like another JRPG like trope when you're like trying to revive her and she like thinks you're a pervert.
yeah.
Like it's like I've definitely seen that in more than one. Like I'm pretty sure that actually happens with Yuffie in Rebirth.
It does. Yeah, no,
You know,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
like it's such
yeah,
a classic JRPG thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I love Melia. Like she's definitely I came out of that game with like her being probably one of my favorite characters overall.
She's a really kind of strong like figure and personality.
Yeah.
Like
And
anyway,
her
no,
JP voice is like so perfect fit for her.
yeah.
I find like I really really like her voice actor.
And like several moments in the game that like give me chills. Like her anything with like her brother, like she's clearly like
Yeah.
like that was really powerful. Oh man, some of the most powerful scenes, like of all people, like kind of Carla was kind of tomboyish in a lot of ways, whatever. But like
Oh
anything with her and Gadult,
yeah.
there were some like gut-wrenching kind of like screams
Her
and
voice
cries
actor
and
is
stuff.
so good in those like emotional scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
When she
Um,
was like, yeah, especially when you find out like I mean, first you find out he's the one in that other mech, but then
yeah.
like they wiped his memory and like that like pisses her off even more. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
and there was it's like I feel like it's in the like end cinematics or whatever, or maybe it's like as God is taunting you before you before you find out. But I think he's like trying to make Shulk forget everyone or whatever, and he's like, I'll never forget them, you know, whatever. And it's just like this, I don't know, just the cinematography was so well done of like it's like showing Ryan and then like showing Milia and then like I think with Carla and just like right like just the way their faces kind of popped up. It was just it was just really well done. I was just like,
yeah,
holy fuck, like this is um it just goes to show like look, it's kind of cartoony anime, you know, looking, but it can be really, I don't know, tell a cool story and the
yeah,
cinematography. It was just
and,
really well done.
it's all in like the cutscene direction and like the music and like
Yeah,
the stellar like voiceover. Like it really is like better than the sum of its parts. Like as a game experience.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a reason why I always made the joke. It's like I'm the biggest, you know, I'm like the biggest Final Fantasy nerd that you know. If I'm telling one of my friends, like I'm the biggest Final Fantasy nerd you'll ever meet, and this is my favorite JRPG of all time, like for a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
Like up
yeah,
until like Rebirth has now obviously taken that spot, but for the longest time, it's like I love Final Fantasy more than anything, and this is my favorite JRPG.
yeah, yeah,
Because of just how good the package is, like how good it all comes together, right?
yeah,
Um, and another scene with Melia that really just is so hard to watch when this one's hard because like Shulk understands now that like he understands his visions and he's starting to understand that he can like prevent them from happening, but then
yeah,
they sometimes will still happen in a different way or whatever. But like when
yeah,
her father dies and it's like the
yeah,
spear, like there's like a shot where like Melia closes her eyes and he
yeah,
gets in front and she opens and it's like the bloody spear in her face like
yeah,
through
yeah,
her
yeah,
father. It's just like, oh my god, it's
yeah,
so brutal.
yeah.
God, yeah.
And like she still kind of perseveres through like, oh, she just like she had a rough go there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And that's so heartbreaking because like she clearly has feelings for Shulk, and
Yeah.
obviously him and Fiora have to be together. Like,
Yeah.
it's like sorry, but yeah, no, it was, oh, the storytelling was so good.
Yeah.
The voice acting, the music, yeah, so I kind of like, so yeah, the final boss took me a few tries, and
Yeah.
like
Me too, the
especially
first time for sure. Even like subsequent playthroughs, I don't think I ever one shot the last boss. Like it usually
yeah,
takes like, okay, yeah, I remember what I have to do now. Like it's like, and it's still executing it is not free. Like it's still
yeah,
hurt. It's
and
still
like
tough.
I was like the last couple of bosses leading up to it was just like, okay, this kind of broken mechanic of Melia's poke and kick, like to, and
Sure.
then I can daze them so quickly. Like I can get them to daze with two people instead of three.
Right.
And so I was cruising through the last little bit. But then I was like, oh, okay, I think I have to really think about this now.
Yeah.
Like this boss is kind of taking me to school here. So but then it was like, okay, I when I beat him, it was like, okay, I'm not doing any chain attacks. Like those are all just for reviving.
Sure.
Um and like make sure that when he starts like summoning the Bionis to, to destroy you, it's like, okay,
To do
I get,
infinity damage or whatever it is. And yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, I gotta shut down these pillars or whatever. And I kind of like, okay, let them get some aggro on him, and like I'm gonna go like way over here and just like cast for a bit and heal people as I can. And anyway, I kind of like got into a groove ultimately. It's like, okay, there, done.
Yeah.
Now that I'm through, I can go grind some stuff to do some of these side quests and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I did a lot of the side quests. So I did like kind of break that rule after a bit, and I was like, fuck it, I'm doing as many effing side quests as I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And
I just didn't want you to feel like it's not like another game where you're not losing out on the story by not doing them. So if I
mm,
didn't want you to burn out on them and like not want to play the main story anymore.
because they're pretty monotonous at
Yes.
certain times where I was just like, another fucking Nippon like quest, like
Yeah.
kill me. Um
Yeah.
but
And I just
anyway, no,
didn't I
so
didn't want that to impede your enjoyment of the like first time like going through the story or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, no, and that's fair. So I now it's like, okay, a few quests where I'm clearly not leveled enough and I'm just kind of like grinding a little bit. It's like in the Hyantia city, there's a bunch of Teletia around that are like pretty high level. It's like, okay, I can grind this out a little bit and
Yeah.
then do a few side quests. Um, by completing it, there's like an extra story or a
Yes.
next, yeah,
You definitely should do that.
do that. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah.
So interesting story about that is it's in the original game, I think it's like cut content that you were gonna go to the Bionis' shoulder as like another zone, but
Okay.
they like the game is fucking massive. So like,
Yeah.
understandably, they're like, we could probably just cut this part out. This
Yeah.
whole game was on a fucking DVD. It was a Wii game. I don't know how they fit this whole game on a DVD disc.
That's amazing. Wow.
But anyway, so there's like a cut zone from the base game, and they took that and reused it to like, it's like an epilogue story. Like it actually takes place like post credits.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a Shulk and Melia adventure, like just the two of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
And they streamline a lot of the systems because now it's still for like essentially free DLC because it just comes with the definitive edition. It's like you'll probably spend 40 to 50 hours doing that.
Oh,
story.
Jesus.
Like
wow.
It's substantial.
Wow.
They definitely, when they did Xenoblade 2, there's like a DLC story. And that was like the first time we experienced their like add-on content for Monolith Soft. And it's like, that add-on story for Xenoblade 2, I think I spent 50 hours on. So when they added this, I'm like, oh, new content. I was like, there's no way it's as substantial as that. And I'm like, yeah, I think I beat that one and like did everything I wanted to do. I was probably like 60 hours on the epilogue. And that's then Xenoblade awesome. 3 had a similar thing where it was like 6 months later and it was like new story DLC, and that took me like 60 hours or some shit.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's substantial. So get as much out of the main game that you want. Because it's not like it's like a separate save file. Like it starts you at a base. I think you're like level 50 or something. Like it doesn't start you at level 1. And they streamline, like there's no gem crafting, but like the way you get gems is a lot more streamlined, and there's not even a ton of gear. I forget how they did it, but they made it so it's like you're not going to be spending 30 hours like doing the maintenance stuff. It's like, no, just like do the story, and there's lots of side quests, and the map is pretty big, and the music in the new area is so fucking good. Oh my god. And it's like new battle theme as well. Mostly I think Shulk and Melia's like moves are pretty much the same. I know she has that like spear drop kick combo. Because I use that a lot there, but there's like no chain attacks. There's like a different mechanic that's a little more simplified.
Cool.
But
it sounds very like DLC. Like it's just like, hey, that's awesome.
And it's pretty good. Like it's a decent like extra story, and it's just like more time with like Melia and Shulk like on like a little adventure. So it's definitely part of the whole experience. So for sure plan to go through that.
Good.
It's definitely a lot of fun.
I'm glad it's substantial too, so that's awesome.
Yeah, like cool. Minimum 30 hours. Probably 40 at least before you finish it.
That's crazy.
It's big. There's a lot.
Oh, sweet.
And then I know I will get you onto Xenoblade 2 at some point, but like take a breath. Don't worry about jumping right into the second game. The nice thing about all three of them is that, and I've said this about some other games, like the Darksiders games, where it's like the battle systems are similar enough that you'll understand like how they work, but they're different enough that they don't feel like you're just playing the same game again. Like the battle system in 2 it's quite different, but it still has like break and topple and chain attacks and things like that, but it's like how you get to those things is a little different. And then Xenoblade 3 is more no, it's not even more like the first game. It's a very interesting combination of the first and second game's combat.
Oh, cool.
And in that game you can finally switch your controlled character.
Okay.
That one finally lets you switch on the fly like during battle.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, Xenoblade 2 is also really, really good, and the way all three of them tie together at the end of the third game is like no one I know has played all three of them, so I've never been able to fully talk about it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's such a good series, and like they just like Nintendo just seemed to like let them do their thing, like let them make their insane JRPG like crazy long
Yeah.
open world, like, just let them cook. Like they
Yeah.
know what they're doing. And yeah, the and that first game, like as far as like remasters go, like Xenoblade Definitive Edition is like probably like the bar for me for in
Yeah.
terms of like I'm trying to think of other ones that do it better, that like do a remaster better. Outside of like visual upgrades, because obviously a lot of games have done that and they're always
Yeah.
good, but just like
But yeah, so do more than just visual, like make some quality of life
quality
improvements
of life
and
stuff,
yeah.
like the menus are way better, like just like that XP thing that wasn't in the original game, that's only
Oh,
in the
okay.
definitive edition. Oh, the where you can change your appearance.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
like
that
that.
wasn't in the
Yeah.
main game, so you looked pretty stupid in cutscenes,
Yeah.
which kind of ruined some of them when you just wearing a gigantic helmet and like a little T-shirt or something. But like that's the best stats. Like
Yeah.
this is the stats I need.
Yeah.
So adding that was nice to be able to like just always look. And I would sort of like when I'm in when I'm in the main first area, I would have like the colony gear on. And then when I
Yeah.
would get to like I think the next one that really changes like um the foresty areas, Makana, what's it called? I forget the
Yeah.
name, but the
I know
where
what you
the
mean.
no
Yeah.
puns are. So you
Yeah.
get the like tribal sort of, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
everyone's wearing these now, and then like get
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the um I'm forgetting all the names. What's the capital with all the high incha?
Oh, Azaromoth
Akamoth
or
or
something?
Alkamoth.
Akamoth, yeah.
When I would get there, I was like, okay, I'm wearing all their gear now. Like I would sort of like just like
Thematically change. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I would just like go
Oh,
through that.
random, like there are so many points, like there are points in this game where it was like it's almost like a flex by the game of just like so you get to Akamoth for the first time and it's just like okay, there's an ocean. Where do I go? And it's just like I guess I'm swimming over there. And it's just like I guess I'm doing this for like 10 minutes. It's just like I'm just swimming. And like, okay, man, you're trolling me with just like a 10-minute hold up or do auto run, and I guess I'm just breathing in this new world a little bit here, and there's nothing I can do about it. But it's like the music is so epic, and like I mean, it's just so visually impressive. So I guess it's kind of like, okay, stop and appreciate the scenery a little bit.
Sure.
But it was just kind of a funny flex of just like, really, you just throwing a huge lake for me to swim through? Okay, I
I
guess
I
I
think
guess I
you
gotta do
missed.
that.
I think you missed the teleporter.
Oh,
I
really?
don't think you have to do that.
Um, Let me revisit that because yeah, like
It's the place with all like the floating platforms,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
near like when you're getting close to Alkamoth.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
think you
Yeah.
just missed the teleporter. Well,
Like,
that's not true. If there, I think there's some like side areas that you have to kind of swim to, but when you get there the first time, you definitely don't have to do a 10-minute swim.
okay, well, anyways, I clearly missed the teleporter. I was just like, okay, I guess we're going for a swim. It's like I cannot see anything except stuff above me and
Sure.
a castle. I was like, oh, I guess I'm swimming over there.
But
But
you're right, that zone has very good music, so it
yeah,
would still be enjoyable.
that's really funny. Um, but yeah, but there are a couple of points as well of just like it doesn't handhold you or like like you get trolled by a named monster kind of like coming up and just
Yeah.
like and then like okay like any good like any JRPG like any experience you've got like you haven't lost that or whatever but you're
Yes.
way the hell back there
Yeah.
again.
I do like their sort of their approach to like dying and respawning. It's like you keep all the XP and even items and whatever, you're just
Yeah,
kicked back to your last landmark. Like I feel like that's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
compromise for like the only progress you're losing is like getting back to where you were like physically, but you're
yeah.
not losing XP and you're not the battles you did to get there are not wasted and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So
There's one place in the marsh I always remember. by that point, I'm like, I've played this game before. Like, I know how to do the combat. Like, I'm good at the combat. There's always this place where I get too cocky, where there's like, it's one of the, I forget what the lizard things are called, but
Yeah.
there's like a little like kind of castle, like a little
Yep.
keep. And there's like, I know there's like a back door you can get to, and you get into
Yep.
the throne room where there's like a named one, but he's got
Yep.
like 12 minions. I'm
Yep.
like, okay, like I'll pull one or two of them, and I'm like, okay, I can take
Yeah.
the rest. And like, I'm always cocky when I get there. It's like, I know how to play this game. I can. And it's like, it always takes me like 4 or 5 times. Like, fuck, I can't get. Like, I
know.
just get destroyed eventually because they just, eventually I lose control of. I don't have aggro on them on my tank, and they're all over the place, or someone gets stunned and then they start killing off my healer, and it's like that. That is the point that I always I get like reality checked when I'm playing the game. I'm like,
Yeah.
you still like you can't just knowledge like just because you know how to do the fight doesn't mean you can brute force through all these encounters. And it's always that part that I'm like, I can take this guy this time. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
And there's probably a term or an idiom or something like that, patience is a virtue or something like that. But it's like, if I would just throw a rock at one and kill that and then do it again and again, if I just did that, I could plow through this. Nope. It's like, if I did that 12 times and then fought the named monster, I'd be fine. Nope, that's not my style. I'm gonna try this full on 13 times, and that's my style. And then I'm gonna get frustrated and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always remember when I get back to that fortress, I'm like, maybe this time though. Like I probably can do it this time.
Yeah, it's like if you did 13 small battles, you'd win. Nope, I'm gonna do 13 yelling at the TV battles. That's and give up. That's my style. And then fuck it, this game sucks and turn the TV off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my style.
Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much all the stuff that I wanted to talk about for the game. I'm super pumped that you played it and that you liked it, because obviously it would have been disappointing if you hated it for me. But I honestly only have like 2 friends that have 2 or 3 that have like fully played through the game, and that was like back when it that was a while ago. So like I haven't been able to like really gush about this game to someone that like gets it. Like I could gush about it all the time, and I do, but it's like, but I can't do it justice how good. My friend Blair one time, when I think this is when I was doing my work from home job, and I was like, she was on night shift or something, so like I was up in the middle of the night because that work from home job was an overnight thing, and I think like she was on like night shifts, so she was up in the middle of the night on her day off, and like I was like up because I couldn't switch my sleep schedule, and I'm just like, I was so desperate for like to like hang out time with any friends because I was on this night shift, and she was just online, and I was like, she loves anime, like she's super into all kinds of different anime, and I was like, like, Blair, what are you doing right now? And she's like, I was like, I'm so bored, like I'm doing nothing and I have to be awake all night. And I found like a playlist of like all the cutscenes of Xenoblade. And I was like, watch this with me.
That's like, awesome.
Because I know she doesn't play those kinds of games. She plays like indie, like cozy games. And I'm just like, I know you will love this story. It's like anime as fuck. I'm just like, I know you'll like it. Just watch it with me. And then we were just like talking through like, I think it was like MSN Messenger at the time. And I just gave her the playlist, and we like went through. I don't think we did it all in one night. I think it was like 2 nights going through, because it was like 8 hours or something. Seriously. And I got her to watch the whole thing, and she loves Xenoblade she loves the Xenoblade story because of that playlist that I got.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's like I was able to gush about it with her a little bit, and she'll understand when I talk about the first game and how good it is.
Wicked. Well, I'm glad we could talk about it and like gameplay mechanics and all this stuff. So that's awesome.
And great.
I think you mentioned this maybe early on or whatever, and it definitely became more and more apparent, especially with like the reveal of Fiora and Mumkar and all that. Like it's very Attack on Titan
Yeah,
as well. When you know what it when you get far enough into Attack on Titan and know what it's all about, kind of
yeah.
thing. So anyway, you should definitely push through Attack on Titan
I know,
if
I
you
know.
I after kind of that reveal in the Xenoblade story, I went and watched like biggest moments in Attack on Titan, like
Sure.
YouTube rabbit hole, and I was like, "Fuck, I love Attack on Titan. I love Xenoblade. This is a very clearly specific anime trope that I think is fucking awesome." So,
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, I
yeah,
definitely got a lot of Attack on Titan energy out of this as well. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's just like masterclass in like storytelling for me, and like I said, the as a remaster, it's like one of the top in terms of just how much better this version of the like this version like erases the original. Like, don't ever play the original version.
oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the only thing that holds up in the original one is the music. The music is still excellent in the because I even play with I think I play with the battle themes original, but the field themes remixed. I think that's how I did the remaster.
Yeah, okay.
But all the battle themes and even the original field themes are still very, very good.
Yeah,
They're just higher quality recordings or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. I love that game. I do like the first one the best out of the three.
Hmm.
But playing all like the three as a whole and how everything sort of ends up tying together in really interesting ways, and it's not like, oh, 10 years later this is the protagonist now. It's not that,
Yeah,
linear. Like the connections
yeah.
are really subtle.
There's more
um
depth to it, so
yeah,
cool.
and like the whole package together, and then three really wraps up in a satisfying way where it like if you've played the first two, like you get way more mileage out of the story in
Oh,
three.
nice.
So yeah, I'm excited for that those eventual discussions with you that I know you'll like those other
Oh,
games.
awesome. No,
Yeah,
I really, really enjoyed it, and it was a fantastic way to kind of relax while I was traveling and and away, and so yeah, no, and like there's always a point of in games that I really like, it's I don't know, you hit like a sweet spot where you're just like we've talked about this. You go to work and you're like, all I can think of is
yeah,
this game.
yeah,
And for me, it happened like quite late into the game. Like I was really enjoying it,
yeah,
obviously, but it was just like in I don't know, like late Bionis, early Mechonis kind of where it was like, oh, I've been enjoying it until this point, but now it's that earworm like I
yeah.
can't stop thinking about this game. I just can't wait to be, done work and get to play again kind of thing.
Well,
Like,
because I
yeah,
think
yeah.
by that point, like when you get to like the Mechonis sword and you start
Yeah.
at that point, you know that humans are in the mix.
Oh, yeah, I think
And I
so.
think that's when
Yeah.
it starts being like, oh shit. Like, because up
Yeah.
till then, it's like pretty typical JRPG hero's journey, blah, blah, blah. Like, not in a bad way. Like, those those are the go-tos for a reason because they're interesting and fun. But it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's after you find out about what the face mechon are, like that's when it starts like carving its own path. Like this is very
Yeah.
unique to this game, this sort of storyline and the way the characters
Yeah.
develop from that point on is like I feel like that's when it really gets its hooks in
Yep.
you.
And I think that's, with for me, it's a story is a big part of any game playing
Yeah.
experience, and it's like that's when the story really kicks in, and so it was like, oh, okay, up until then I'd been enjoying the game, but then that's when the story finally kind
Yeah.
of hooked me, and I was like, okay, I'm obsessed with this game.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, so
And at
yeah,
that point, you have like most of your characters, if not all of them. By that point, I think you have all of them then,
yeah, I guess like. And I
or
was
not
hooked into it
Fiora, obviously,
before
but
you have Fiora. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you have everyone except Fiora, and you don't even know about. No, you do know about her, but you don't have her on your team. But you have
yeah,
enough at your disposal to like, okay, like how do I want to play this game? Like
yeah, yeah,
try the different
yeah,
characters. Like you have enough to like experiment with, and by that point, you have enough gems to notice like, oh, you can really like build a character one way or the other, and
Yeah.
That's when like the experimenting sort of happens, and that's just like the juiciest part of a JRPG when you get to that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's always that like middle part of of a JRPG where you just like you just really sink your teeth into all of its systems, and like you get
Yeah.
a lot of like return on that investment. Like you can really see the difference that you know
Yeah.
gearing someone up a certain way can be, or how they play different. And yeah, uh,
I,
it's so good. I fucking love
I
that game.
yeah, I know, and I was pretty happy too because normally like I'll get a system and it's like I will play through that and I don't really experiment. It's just but
Sure.
this one it was like, you know what? I've been playing Shulk this whole time. Like let's change it up. Why the hell not? I never do this, but like I'm gonna just start using a different team and a different build altogether.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a long ass game. I might as well kind of change it
Yeah.
up a little bit. And so that's not really normally my style. It's like um, this is my team. It's this build. Just
Yeah.
make tweaks to make him a better tank or like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna start using a mage instead of the balanced character now. Like,
Yeah.
why the hell not? Let's give it a try. And I'm glad I did. It was kind of a fun mix up, switcheroo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that game's so good. I'm just looking at my notes if there's any last things that we didn't talk about. I think we got pretty much everything that I wanted to talk. Party comps, lane monsters, the whole Klaus reveal. That was so
Yeah.
man, that was so wild. I loved it. Um anyway, yeah. So we'll stop it there. I definitely can't wait for you to get to Xenoblade 2 and find out some of the big reveals, like to get your reaction on that stuff.
Yeah.
With I don't know what your next game is that you're gonna be digging into.
Yeah, because like you kind of said at the top, like it's a little bit of a void for me of games.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, anyway, so like all I've been doing is playing Tekken and this, and like Tekken will be my kind of go-to, and like it's getting the summer, and it's a little bit less of a bunker down with games,
True,
but
yeah.
I do have my buddy Pete lent me Tears of the Kingdom, so I do have that like
Ooh.
in the, but I'm worried if I start that. You saw what happened to me with Breath of the Wild. Or you saw the
Yeah,
hours.
I
Yeah.
would strongly suggest finish Xenoblade. Like,
Yes.
finish
Yeah.
what you want to do and do the epilogue before you pick up Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah. And
because the same thing will happen.
yes, yeah, because like I remember you would log on and see like number of hours played or whatever the Switch does. But yeah, man, because like that was middle of a
That was like December or
yeah, like
something.
and like winter, right? Like it
Yeah.
was just and it was like snowy winter. I just like played that all day, every day. Um, but so I don't know when it's like that might need to wait till the winter again. Like I don't know, but I still based on what you said here today, I still have a lot of
Yeah, you
Xenoblade.
probably. I asked that question,
Yeah,
but I mean, like, oh, he has Xenoblade next. He's still playing that. Like,
yeah, yeah,
at least
yeah,
the epilogue will take you like 40 hours for sure.
yeah,
So yeah, you still got that to play for a little while yet.
yeah. So no, play that. Tekken will keep me busy. You know, at least keep my rage urge to kill at the maximum at all time. Like, man, I get really worked up at Tekken.
Well, so we played like I think it was like last week or something. Maybe it was the week before, and
Yeah.
Mike and I just could not stop laughing. Where it was like, oh no, this was a couple weeks ago because you just got home. And we're like,
Okay.
oh, let's play some Tekken. Like it's been a while. Like you were doing the remote play, but it's like we haven't been able to sit down and play. And you were all jazzed. Like, yeah, play Tekken. Like 3 seconds into the first match, fuck this game.
Yeah.
Fuck. I did some June bullshit, and you're like, fuck Tekken.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
it was the
Uh,
quickest
I,
turn.
I was like, I'm so happy to be playing Tekken again because yeah, like, I was just like doing remote play on my phone while in New Zealand, and it was anyway. I was like, oh sweet, oh yeah, it was
I did
you
some
in
June
June.
bullshit.
Yeah, I just like yeah, that turned me 180 in 2 seconds. But oh, and we do have to do our Tekken
Yeah. Yeah,
game as well. So
so there was some stuff that came up after Christmas that Matt and I had to deal with, so we didn't really get a chance to do our Tekken episode. Um, I I know I gotta remember which
Find your
notebook.
notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have all the notebooks. I just gotta find the ones where I made all the rules
Yeah.
for us to do, and I think this weekend we might be able to carve out some time to try and record that.
That'd be fun.
So if I get this episode out this weekend, I'll probably put that one out the next weekend. Because yeah, it'll be. I know we had a lot of silly rules in there, and now it's like season 2, so there's a bunch of like new stuff with all the the characters anyway. Um, but yeah, we'll record that probably, hopefully this weekend if we can find the time, and we'll get that out probably a week after this episode goes live. So just keep an eye
And
for that.
I'll either be on my best behavior or we'll have a disclaimer at the beginning.
We'll just go ahead and give that disclaimer now for both of us because it's just gonna happen, especially if we have to play with handicaps with these rules or whatever. So just assume it's gonna be 18 plus viewing for that episode. Don't show that one to the kids. That won't be for them.
Yeah. But anyway, no, that'll be fun. And but yeah, no, finishing up Xenoblade, the kind of constant steady drip of Tekken, and but yeah, no, don't really have too much. And I mean, I don't know when the next FF7 news will come out, but I don't know if we're expecting anything this year. But you would know best.
I think we'll get a title this year. I think we'll get the name of the third game this year, but a logo only. I don't think we'll see. I don't think we'll see anything. Well, we did see that very weird sort of brief teaser of Rebirth, like more than a year before it came out. That was like that 25th anniversary FF7 thing. When we found out the names, like that was when we found out it was going to be 3 parts, and we got the name of the second part. They showed it was just Cloud and Sephiroth walking 2 or 3 shots, and that was it. Like there was not much. There was no gameplay or anything. So we might get some version of that, but I think we'll at least get the logo and the title by the end of this year. But
cool.
I'd love to be wrong, and I'd love to get like a fucking first look trailer at like the Game Awards in December, but I'm assuming it's going to come out in 2027 because that's the 30th anniversary of FF7.
Okay.
So I feel like that's probably what they're targeting, but I do think the amount of work no, that's a lie, because I was going to say the amount of work from Rebirth to the next one is probably less because like most of the systems are like more similar, but you have 2 new characters to design, like how they play, and there's a lot of story left to go through. So like that game's gonna be huge.
Man, like Rebirth was fucking huge, and I hope this one makes Rebirth look like a tea party, kind of thing. Like just I hope it gets like panned for being too long. Like I want real fans to be calling it too long because it will not be too long for me. And anyway, I'm also like a little bit like I'm okay with it. Like 2027, like you know what? The anticipation and the wait.
Because then it's over, right? Like
I know,
once that one comes out, that's it. That's the end of it. So like that'll be very bittersweet to I want it to be like, polish the shit out of it, like don't rush it or whatever. So I think 2027 makes sense for how long they need. And but yeah, that like I said, I think we'll get the title of it. I do believe we'll get that this year. We'll figure out what it's called.
And so I still have yet to do like a revisit of Remake and Rebirth. Like when I platinum those and like I kind of put the controllers down and so I would really like to play those again leading up to its release. So like anyway, next year or something, doing a Rebirth and a Remake and Rebirth, like kind of what you did.
I do it when we get the date for the next one. Is when I'm like, okay, I will go through them, and I won't like 100% them again. Like,
no.
Go through the story, like all the main story beats, and just like experience the game, more casually, less obsessively. But Yeah, I'll when we get the date for the third game, that's when I'm gonna do my revisit for sure.
Yeah, gotcha. And just like, playing Rebirth like for the first time, it was just like one of the most satisfying things of
I
recent
know,
memory.
I
So
know.
like I was so happy. I was the happiest I've been like playing that game, and I can't wait for that experience
Yeah,
with the new one. But the reason it was so good was because it was like such a long wait in between, and
yeah.
like anyway, so I understand the process to get that level of anticipation. So like
And
I'll wait it
just
out. But
and
yeah,
like that's why the game was so big and all of the
yeah,
content in it was so good. Like
yeah,
there was
yeah,
not a lot of rough edges in just terms of like pure enjoyment standpoint in that game. Like,
yeah,
and it's because they just had the time to do it right. So
yeah,
yeah, I've no reason to doubt their process. So take the time you need. I
yeah,
will take my week off when it comes out, like I did before, and play
yeah.
the shit out of it again.
Oh man.
that won't change no matter how long it takes them.
Um, quick little meme. I know we're trying to wrap up here, but like I saw something. It reminded me because of like the insane amount of Queen's blood that ends up being played, in that game.
Yeah.
That it just in FF8, I saw a meme of just like someone like crumpled on the
Yeah.
ground
Want to play? Want to play cards?
what
Yeah,
am I
I saw that too.
Oh, it's just the best.
That's another JRPG. Well, that's not even just JRPG. That's like any RPG has. If it has a silly little mini game, that's what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But anyway, okay, cool. But no,
yeah,
I appreciated being able to gush a bit about Xenoblade as well, because
yeah.
especially like
And we'll circle back around when you get the epilogue finished,
yeah,
just to get your thoughts on that too. But yeah, the main discussion, I was definitely looking forward to have, just because I just haven't been able to talk at this to this extent
yeah,
about this game. That's one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that. Plus, you got your regularly scheduled FF7 tangent, as expected. We almost made it. We
if you
almost
thought it
got
wasn't gonna
it.
happen, people listening, they're gonna wrap it up and they might not even mention
No, 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 no.
it. Nice try.
Come on.
You know
Who
the
do you think you're
channel.
talking to here? Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, we'll call it there then. And we'll record our Tekken episode soon, and like I'll try to get that posted a week after this one goes up. So just make sure you guys all subscribe and everything, so you can see when that goes up. I did an interview 2 or 3 weeks ago with Pippi in a top hat, who runs Skyward Sword.
Oh, nice.
She does. If anybody watching this podcast watches the GDQ events, you definitely know her voice, because she has a very distinct laugh whenever she's on the commentator or the host seat. So if anyone hasn't caught that yet, that interview is up as well. I'll put a link to that at the end of this. And yeah, we'll do our Tekken episode soon, and we'll get that up. And I don't know when we'll meet again. When probably I'll want to talk about Monster Hunter at some point. So we'll do another episode, less than 3.5 months from now
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to get talk about that, now that we're
yeah.
back to a normal routine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Well,
Well, thanks,
thanks
Matt.
again.
Yeah. Thank you for joining, and thanks for committing to this like 100-hour game. I
Hey,
really appreciate it.
no, no.
That Christmas gift was pretty selfish, because I just wanted to talk about it with somebody.
Hey, it was funny because my buddy Robbie, it was just like, oh, I'm playing Xenoblade now, and he recommends games to me all the time, and then I'm just like, oh, I'm playing Xenoblade. Like, what? Your brother recommends something to you, and like you instantly play that? I've been trying to get you to play like da 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 da. And I was like, well, he bought it for me, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess I have to buy you a game in order for you to play it.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yeah, that's a trick. So
Yeah.
anyway, no, I loved it. So thanks again. It was great.
Cool. Okay, we'll end it there then. Thanks everyone for listening, and like I said, subscribe so you don't miss our Tekken episode, where we will undoubtedly get very angry at each other.
Oh yeah, no.
So it should be fun for everyone.
Yeah, don't worry. The band's not breaking up. That's just how we play.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Matt. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Sounds good. See everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah.